Well, hey there. Welcome back to the Grandpa Chair. I'm John, and I am here on the patio again in the Grandpa Chair, but on a special day. It's Monday, and that means that we have something kind of really special. So, right here, some unbelievable red beans and rice, Cajun red beans and rice. So, it's a special recipe. It's something that we love to be able to fix here at our house. It typically is fixed on a Monday in Cajun households because Monday is laundry day. And so the folks who were working and keeping up the house needed to have an easy dish to be able to make. And so put on a pot of beans in the morning. You don't have to mess with it very much. And you get all the laundry done, all the labor intensive stuff of making sure that that happens while you make sure that your dinner gets cooked by the time you're done. So red beans and rice is a fantastic dish. We love to fix it. We almost consider it a delicacy. It contains three things that I love the idea of what it's called. So in Cajun cooking, it's called the Holy Trinity, and that is onions and celery and bell pepper, all chopped up fine. It makes just such a great smell in our house as we're cooking it. And so red beans and rice has become one of the dishes that we like. In fact, we would go out to a restaurant and probably pay too much to have it. But boy, it is so good. It's comfort food. In fact, I'm going to add some cayenne pepper and a little bit of hot sauce to it and make sure that it's got just that spice that you're looking for. And it is going to be fantastic when I finish it off here in just a little bit. What strikes me, though, as I talk about beans and rice is how much of a similar food it is no matter where you are. In a lot of cases, it's sustenance. It's what's required in order to have food. I think it's really unique that here in the United States, we would probably be saying that that is comfort food, or it's something that is an extravagance for a lot of folks. And in places like Kenya, where I just had the chance to be, or in places where other of our friends live in Central America and South America, it's much more than just something that's a nice thing to have. It is the nutrition that's going to carry you through to the next day. In the same way, and I hope if you're in one of those places where you have beans and rice on a regular basis, on a daily basis, you might chime in and maybe even send a picture of what it is that you are making for your family for dinner. But the rice and the beans become something that is sustaining for an awful lot of folks. Same type of a table, same type of a way of cooking, same God that's making sure that we have the provisions of the things that we need to carry us through. But in so many cases, we would tend to say that we are far different in one culture to another. And yet, in every one of the cultures, beans and rice are critical to the way that we live. They're food, it's nutritious, and it carries us through. And so while there are those who would try to drive us apart and say that we are so far different from any other place, in reality, we have a lot of the same things. And so what I have hoped for as we gather around the Grandpa Chair is that when we're also gathered around a table, we can recognize what it is to be connected and to realize that a lot of the same foods that we eat are the things that bring nutrition to our families. And so as we have had that provided to us, it's about who we have at our table, it's about who we're sitting down to eat with, and it's about the families that we love and the people that we're taking care of to make sure that we are really doing the best that we possibly can with the foods that we've been given. So with red beans and rice, hopefully you will enjoy the little recipe that I have for you. Today's not about cooking, really, but since I was making it, I thought maybe you would enjoy just seeing what it takes to make a little bit of red beans and rice. And hopefully you'll come home with a Cajun recipe that you want to try next wash day, or just the next time that you feel like you've got some beans and some rice that you ought to do something with, because this was pretty spectacular. I've got some great andouille sausage in here. That's different than what we would have had in Kenya. It's different than what we have in Brazil or what we have when we're in Guatemala or Honduras. But it's delicious and nutritious, and it helps serve the purpose of making sure that we carry on one more day with the sustenance that we need. right, so you have seen already just sort of the prep work that gets done. I didn't really go with a description about it because it seems pretty self-evident. You cut up bell pepper, you cut up celery, you cut up an onion, and make sure that that is really nice and small, all the same size. You get some bacon into the pan first so that that creates a really great crust on the bottom. And then, if it works exactly right, which it has, look at that. All of the dark parts that you saw originally in this pan are gone because the vegetables have taken it all up. So we now have great flavor already built into this little bit. So now what I'm going to do is cut up the sausage, andouille sausage, just from Walmart, and give that a try. Make sure that those are about the same size as well. I'm going to put these in and saute them as well. That's going to add a little bit more flavor for the red beans and rice and should create an unbelievable smell here in the house as soon as I get all of this stuff cut and dropped back in. All right, so all of that is cut up. Got a little escapee there. I'm going to go take this, drop it into the pan because those vegetables are now soft, tender, ready to be added to. So we're going to put in all of the andouille sausage from that packet. Let it get in here and sizzle just a little bit. You can hear the sizzle. And you can smell already what all of those vegetables and the bacon grease and now the andouille sausage, what all that smells like. Oh my goodness. It already smells like a fantastic red beans and rice day here at our house. All right, so a few minutes have passed. We're gonna take a look across. Oh yes, it smells still really amazing. You can hear the sizzle. So all of the vegetables are soft. The sausages are now a little bit browned. So let's take now the red beans that have been soaking overnight in a bunch of water. I'm going to put the water in as well. I know there's discussion about that, whether it makes sense or not, but for me it does because I do think it adds a lot of flavor to your pot. So in we go. Now we're going to work on the seasonings. All right, so now the water and the beans are beginning to bubble up just a little bit, so it's time to go for the spices. So let me show you what spices we have. It's just a few. It's not really, doesn't take an awful lot. So number one, we've got salt. We've got about a teaspoon of salt right here. We have 2 bay leaves that are here, and those are going to add some great flavor. Over here we have thyme leaves. Again, that's just a teaspoon or so. And then a little bit of pepper, so just about, a quarter of a teaspoon of pepper, and then the magic. So some recipes call for cayenne pepper. I just go with slap yo mama. So that is, it's really tough to say, but it's really great seasoning. It's a balanced seasoning. It gives you a little bit of spice, not too much, and it's something that you can adapt to exactly what it is that your family likes. Now, also, I have 3 minced cloves of garlic right here, and so we're going to put that in as well. All that's going to go into the water that's already starting to boil a little bit, so let's just put this over here and give it a good stir. Make sure that everything is mixing. Oh, the smell is so good. As soon as those spices hit the water, it just smells like you could be in a Cajun household, even though clearly we are not. But we do like Cajun food here at our house. Now let's just grab onto the garlic. There we go. Got hold of the garlic. We're going to put all of that in as well. Make sure that gets embedded into the water. I guess embedded is not really the right word. Perhaps it is submerged in the water. And so now all this stuff is just going to boil for a little while, really low and slow. So it's going to be a simmer that will give us just amazing smells throughout the day. And so one of the reasons that this is a Monday wash day traditional food for a lot of Cajun homes is that it's just the kind of thing that you can put into the pot and not mess with very much. So like I said, got the temperature up to almost a boil. I've added all of the spices. Everything that needs to be in there for now is in there. And so I am turning the flame down a lot. So if I can see the flame down here, there we go. It's really low. Oh, look, there we are. Really great low flame. And then I'm just going to cover it and let it work its magic. And then we'll check in again in just a little while. All right, so as you can see, the red beans and rice have cooked down a lot. So they're nice, they're thick, they're creamy. They should be delicious. Once again, the house smells fantastic. Look at that. So, just as I said, those sausages get a little bit cooked, and so it's almost like it cooks all the good stuff out of it. So I like to put in some fresh sausage, again, andouille sausage, just so that it has a chance to have great flavor, really nice and juicy and tender. Then we've got the rice getting ready to go on. A lot of people like instant rice, and that's just fine, and that's fantastic. But if you like the kind of rice that will separate out so that you got nice individual grains of rice, I love Zatarans. That is sort of a parboiled rice, which means it's already been a little bit pre-cooked, and it makes for fantastic rice. After about 20 minutes, we should be ready to go. All right, my friends, let's just see what the end result looks like. Oh, that just looks so good. Oh my. Creamy red beans, sausage, andouille sausage, all mixed up together. You can barely see the bell peppers or the celery or the onions in there. We chopped them up so small, and then they have just cooked all rich and good, and everything has cooked way down to just be this nice, creamy collection of great beans and sausage. Now, we're going to stick this over some rice and I think have perfection. Well, I hope you enjoyed that bit of video about how to make Cajun red beans and rice. I certainly did. Look at my bowl. That's clean. So, that's really what I hope to talk about today. I'm going to set this down on the ground. Probably Lexi's going to take it from me soon. Same bowls, different kind of heat, sometimes different kind of cooking methods. But all of it leads us back to the same place. It really makes a big difference when we sit around the table with the people that we love and we're fixing the food to make sure that the people that we love have what they need. There's a lot that can be said for having the kind of food that will sustain you. That's a question I'd love for you to chime in on if you have just a moment. Have you gone to or do you have a go-to meal? Maybe that's the right way to ask the question. Do you have a go-to meal that is one that has sustained you really well during some really hard times? Maybe a time where you didn't think that you had very much, and yet you were able to pull together something that now you look back on those days, look on those meals, and say that's what helped us make it through. And if you are from someplace other than the United States and you have rice and beans in some way, I think it would be very good for our folks here in the States to be able to see what that looks like from your perspective. Hope that you can just come and sit with me at the grandpa chair. Let's find ways that we draw closer together, that we have stories that make a big difference, and that we understand each other a little bit better because we spent this time together. Thanks for pulling up a chair with me today. Hope you have a great day and a great start to your week. And maybe, just maybe, you'll have some beans and rice this week and think about our friends wherever they may be in the world. Have a great day.